Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeyes. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. So today's video is brought to you courtesy of Infinity Dream Liquor Palace. They are located at shop number 1 at Imperial Plaza, 93 Great George Street in Savannah Lamar, and at the Rainbow Plaza in Hopewell in the parish of Anova. At Infinity Dream Liquor Palace, they don't deal with knockoffs. You will get liquors from Infinity Dream that you will not get anywhere else in Western Jamaica. Trust me when I tell you that. They have White Hennessy. They have all the Crown Royals that you can think of and a lot more. Just call them at 876-724-8228. That's 876-724-8228. They also do consignment. So if you are keeping a party and you want liquor and consignment, all you need is a bill, your ID, and a reference letter. And then you check with Infinity Dream. Ensure that you check with them for all your good stuffs. Now, as promised, today, our in-house lawyer is Mr. Lambert Johnson. If you have any question that you would want Mr. Johnson to answer, just send us a WhatsApp message. 876-343-1034. That's 876-343-1034. Or if you want to speak with Mr. Johnson directly, or if you want to set up an appointment to speak to him, keep watching. His numbers will be posted. Remember to like and share the video from now. So, let's ask the lawyer. Sir Johnson, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening to you and your many subscribers.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, it is. All right, so today we have a few, well, we know we have a topic for today, but I have some questions. Well, the first one, what is the procedure for evicting a tenant?
All right. So, the proper procedure, whether it is residential premises or commercial, you have to serve a notice of eviction. And when you do the notice, there are a couple of things that must be included. I mean, apart from the names and addresses of the parties, you must have the location of the property, how much time you are giving the person, whether it's 30 days, 2 weeks, or a year, 3 months, and you must have the start time and the end time. But most importantly, the law requires that you have a reason in the notice why you are giving this person an eviction.
You kind of break there. You say a reason in the notice why you are giving the eviction.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and it must be one recognized in law. So you can't say, this person I really don't like that they start going to. They have suddenly started wearing thread. So I don't want any rasta in the house.
Oh.
It must be a reason recognized in law. So here are the reasons that the house needs repairs.
Mm-hmm.
One, the person owes rent, the person is a nuisance, or you need the premises for personal use or to give it to someone for whom you are responsible.
Okay.
So one of the mistakes that a lot of persons make is, and if a lawyer to challenge it, they are selling a property and they give the person a note and say, you have to leave because you have sold the property. That is not recognized in law, and it can actually be challenged when you take them to court.
Okay.
And so when you are serving notice, you have to serve it before the commencement date, and it depends on when the rent is paid to know how much time to give. So like someone who has a 1 year lease,
yes,
pay rent once a year, the proper notice would be for 1 year.
Okay.
Somebody who pays rent every month, proper notice is 1 month. But there is something I must state, and I've gotten questions on it repeatedly in my private avocation and elsewhere.
Yes.
Tenants have come to me and said because they were served a notice, they don't have to pay rent.
Yes, I heard that all the way. Yes, yes.
There is nothing in the law that says so. Once you're in the person's premises occupying it, you are obliged to pay rent.
Okay.
The service of a notice does not mean that rent should stop be paid.
Yes.
And I've heard it repeatedly.
Yeah, man, true.
Once you're in there, you must pay rent.
Yes. So the next step would be what after serving the notice? If the person don't leave after the time expires, yes.
So after the notice expires, meaning that whether it's a month or a year or 3 months,
yes,
then you can actually go to the court's office and apply for what is called recovery of possession. Of course, you can also go and retain the services of an attorney to assist you with the procedure. So there are a couple of things that can happen when the matter gets to court. If the tenant who is served a notice does not turn up, the judge can still make an order for them to leave. And that is called a default judgment. Or the person can come to court and they can ask for time to leave. And, after some negotiations, they will get time to leave or the matter goes to trial. And the judge will determine whether or not this person is obliged to leave.
Okay. So it's not a 1-2. It's not me giving you notice and say you have to leave next month. I may expect you to come out next month.
No, as a matter of fact, there's a section in the Rent Restriction Act.
Yes.
So if a landlord is upset and say, I really want this person out, so I'm going to disconnect the light and the water, or I'm going to take off the door or the windows, it's a criminal offense. You can be arrested for it.
Yes.
So you have to take it to court.
Okay.
So it's one of those cases where you can take self-help and go to JPS and disconnect the light and go to the National Water Commission and disconnect the water. No, that is a criminal offense for which you can be charged, and I've seen persons charged with it repeatedly.
Okay. That is what, the Rent Restriction Act?
Yes.
Okay.
If my memory serves me correctly, section 27 that speaks to that.
Another person is asking, they have shares in a company for over 20 years and they haven't gotten any dividend or compensation. The person is asking if they can lose the share or if they can make a claim on the company, or with the passage of time, if they can file a claim.
All right, so they didn't say what kind of company, because, there are essentially two kinds of companies.
Yes.
The public companies that are listed on the stock exchange, and then there are the private companies that are not listed at all.
Yes.
Now, if it's one of those companies that is listed on the stock exchange,
yes,
then once the company is being duly run and is operating, then if they make a dividend, you are entitled to be paid a dividend. If they don't, then such is life, you will not be paid anything. And that is actually going into another realm as to why persons buy stock. Some persons will buy some stock because they know that they'll get dividend twice per year, so they look for the income, or they buy stock because they know it's a stock, what they call a growth stock.
Yes.
So they buy for $5,000 or $5 this year.
Yes.
And in another 5 years, it's valued $35, and then you sell and you make a huge profit. So it depends on why you buy this stock, but I won't go into that.
Yes.
If it's a private company, private companies, it depends on what they're involved in, and if they make a profit, then they might pay you a dividend. And depends on what you did in the company, and are you someone who works, are you a director, or are you just a shareholder? So there are several things that you have to be taken into consideration.
Okay.
And can you make a claim against the company?
Yes.
It depends. Is the company profitable? Are they still in existence?
And as a shareholder, you would know that, whether they're making a profit or not.
You should know that. Yes.
Okay.
And then I see another part where someone is asking about the passage of time to file a claim.
Yes.
Well, the general rule is that by virtue of the statute of limitation, most actions you have up to 6 years to file them. After 6 years, the cause of action falls by the wayside and you can't sue anymore.
After 6 years?
After 6 years, yes.
Okay. Yeah, man. So the other one is saying, if both parties obtain a property as tenant in common and one person is not paying their portion of the mortgage, how can that be handled?
Well, it's not up to them, because the bank is going to come in, step in, and exercise their right to sell.
I think what the person is trying to say is, all right, Because the person and I had a discussion. They are paying that person's portion. The person who is asking, they are actually paying that person's portion because they don't want the bank to take away the property. So the other person is not paying anything and they ended up paying the person's portion as well.
Well, it can be a long process.
Yes.
Because once the person's name is on the title, even if you pay, it does not automatically give you the right to claim their portion.
Yes.
Because they are tenants in common. Your remedy in those circumstances is to sue for the mortgage payments that you have made on their behalf.
Yes.
But of course, it could be wise for on each and every occasion you pay, or at least once you write to them and say, I notice you have not paid your portion of the mortgage, and I'll be paying it, and I'll be seeking to recover it
Yes.
from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
So
yeah.
that is what I've got.
Okay. Another one, a concerned grandmother. I need some advice. The person is saying her son died leaving 3 girls. One is 11, 8, and the other one is 6 years old. The person is saying she lives in the United States, and she was thinking she could file for them, but she was told the sad news that she would have to adopt them. I was told after contacting my lawyer in the USA that I would have to have lived with them for 2 years, which is not the case. She informed me that I could have my other son, which they have been living with since 2018 after his brother died. Please tell me if this is so. How long would I go about starting the process? That's what the person is asking.
Well, what I can say to you when I hear you on that question, the thing that jumps out at me literally is, so where's the mother?
Yes.
Because if the mother or mothers are alive and well,
yes,
then their permission is needed.
Okay.
And there is no getting around that once the mother is alive.
Yes.
All right. So if the mother is alive, or mothers, and they are in agreement, there are a couple things that can be done. So one of the things that is usually done is an application can be made. So the mother, and this is kind of a strategy, that mother could make an application to the court against the uncle with whom the children are living for custody.
Okay.
And when it goes to court now, and this is a strategy now, you know.
Yes.
When it goes to court, she consents for the uncle to have custody.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. And then now, he would be able to, at the very least, apply for visas on their behalf. But for this person's overseas to file for them, it is correct. They would have to adopt them, and there is a period of the children would have to reside with her.
Yes.
So I noticed the ages 11, 18, and 6.
Yes.
So this is something that has to be done before the children are 16.
Yes.
Because after 16, so they are still young enough to come to Jamaica and be the person who the mother applies again for custody, agree to give her custody, and then after 2 years pass, she would be able to apply for the children to go overseas.
Okay. Talking about strategy, would the uncle be able to apply for custody and then the mother hand them over?
No, the only persons who can really apply for custody
yes
are the parents.
Okay, mother or father.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. I think we covered that. So Sir Johnson, let's go into the topic. The time is going, but at least we can start and maybe finish up next week.
Yes.
Yes,
so
sir.
The topic for this week is applying what is called first registration of land.
What registration of land?
First registration.
First, okay. Yes.
So essentially, this is a piece of land that you have, and there's no title for it.
Yes.
And having title for your land is such an important event or thing to have, because it enables you to, what I call, unlock the wealth in the land.
Yes.
Because once you have a title, you can get a mortgage and you can build. Once you have a title, it is easier to sell.
Yes.
Once you have a title, you can use it as security in so many instances. I mean, if you're going to the USA and you want to show proof that you own land, the title is the best thing.
Yes.
So for these and other reasons, it is always best if you have land for which you have no title, is that you see an attorney to get this land registered. And we call it first registration.
Yes.
Now, there are some prerequisites if you're going to register land. There is a term we call root of title.
Yes.
So root of title means that you must be able to show that you have been in possession of this land for 30 years or more.
Okay.
And when it says 30 years or more, it doesn't have to necessarily be you. Because if the land was owned by your mother or father and they died and they passed it on in a will to you, and you can show that they had it for an extended period, then the 30 years would be accounted for. So 30 years or more.
Yes.
So the first order of business, once you have the land and it's 30 years or more, you can then do a survey. A survey is required to identify the piece of land with what I call specificity.
Yes.
So exactly
With
where it's at.
the boundaries, yes. Yes.
So there was a time in the past when they would describe land by what is called meat and bones. So you would say the land is owned on the left by John Brown. To the back is near Stoke. To the front is the parochial road. So the other side is land owned by Adrian Grant. Just to bring full name out of the hat.
Yes.
You know. But the titles office now has a preference for when you have a survey done by a surveyor. You know.
Yes.
A commissioned land surveyor. Yes, that's the
Yes.
term I want.
Commissioned. Yes.
Commissioned land surveyor. And so along with the survey, you will bring all your other documents you have. So the property taxes, the receipts that you have paid,
Yes.
bring those along. If you have any what we call indenture, which is those old that's a paper that people used to write that I own the land, I'm now selling it to you.
Yes.
So the indenture, if there's any will, if there's any document, any deed of gift, anything that can show the root of title and the ownership,
Yes.
then you put those together, all the documents, and then now you need to have two persons who can confirm that you have lived on the land. So here's the trick now. You not only lived on the land enough.
Yes.
Open and undisturbed. That means you literally can't hide and say, I live here but nobody knows.
Yes.
Someone must know, must see you.
Yes.
And if there's someone who's objecting to it, then it's not undisturbed. You have been disturbed all the years. Man, what you do on my grandmother land? You know it's my grandmother land. So it must be open and undisturbed.
Yes.
And so, in addition to that, what we call statutory declaration, an application is completed by the person who is applying to be registered untitled.
Okay.
And then all those documents are put together. The necessary stamp duty is paid at the tax office because it has to be assessed.
Yes.
And then all the documents are submitted to the titles office. And at some point, the documents go to what is called, one is called a referee of title, who will come and make checks and then examine the documents. And then once they are found to be in order, then it is required to be advertised 2 consecutive weeks in either the Observer or the Jamaica Gleaner. And then if no one comes out of the woodwork objecting, then your title will be issued in a short order.
So if somebody comes out of the woodworks that put a break on things?
Yes, because if that person can show some documentation.
Yes.
And usually, usually it's always a family member.
Yes.
Who comes out of it. So sometimes they share a common grandfather or great grandfather. And then for some reason the family line don't get along. Yes. And then what would happen is grandfather gave it to his 4 sons. The 4 sons, 2 died, and so the other 2 take control. And it gets confusing and contentious.
Yes.
And so that is why once you have land, are you doing anything with land? Put it in writing. If you're going to give piece of land to someone, put it in writing.
Yes.
If you are leasing, renting, put it in writing. Because all these documents will be of you boundary rule. If there is a conflict or contest.
You kind of break a while ago. Go again for me.
So it's always good to have your paperwork in the event there's anyone challenging your right to the land.
Okay. So, Johnson, this is a quick question. In going to court, you know of anybody who has been sentenced under the new Firearms Act as yet?
A few persons, I don't know of them personally, but I know of persons who so far wouldn't necessarily be a trial, would have pleaded guilty, and the law states minimum of 15 years. So the reality is, it is a minimum of 15 years. I suspect that most persons will be going to trial because if whether or not you plead guilty is a sure 15 years, then take a chance. The law of averages will say that for every 100 guilty person you have, if you go to trial, 30% will get off.
Yes.
That's just the reality.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So you don't know of anybody who has been sentenced under it?
Not personally, but I'm sure persons have been sentenced under it already.
Yeah, man. All right, thanks. I think we cover a whole heap today. We cover a whole heap. So, and I'm sure persons will be grateful for it. So, we have got touch base earlier in our week, Mr. Johnson. Because when I wait until Saturday or Sunday, the time pull up on me.
I was under the impression that I was busier than you.
Man, I am too busy, man. I am too busy, trust me.
Yes.
And it's a one-man team. You're lucky you have secretary. I am my secretary. I am my own secretary. I am everything. Anyhow, thanks for this week. And definitely, we are coming back next week. We have to go find the time and make the link. Because, trust me, Sir Johnson, I don't know what feedback you are getting, but I have been getting the feedback. This is helping a whole heap of people.
So this is what I have to say.
Yes.
The feedback has been tremendous and my office is overwhelmed. And sometimes persons call and I literally cannot take the call.
Yes.
Because I'm in court
yes.
or in a meeting or on another call.
So
I was going to ask that they send the emails or WhatsApp their questions to the numbers that we
I don't know if we had an email address for you. We need to have to put up your email address.
Alright, so I'm going to create one specifically.
Yes, man, because some persons are abroad and them keep on asking me for your WhatsApp, and I'm telling them it's the only number so an email address would be good. That would be easier.
Alright. I'm going to create an email address specifically for this program and we can take it from there.
Yes, man, do that and we take it. Alright, so catch you next week, sir, for some more.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Alright, blessings, Sir Johnson.